法定人數，咁就請官員入嚟啦，唔該同事。
Members, we have reached the appointed hour with a quorum. Please invite the officials into the room.
OK， 都好快。哦，我冇上去攞文件咧，啲文件仲喺上高。係各位同事，我哋
Members, please confirm the minutes of the meeting. The minutes of the previous meeting, I have received no proposed amendments, so the minutes are confirmed. That's the minutes for the meeting held on 11th of October. May I now introduce the government officials? They are Ms. Carol Yuen, Deputy Secretary for Commerce and Economic Development, Ms. Raymond Wu, Principal Assistant Secretary, and also Ms. Alice Choi, Senior Government Counsel. So, Ms. Yuen, would you please take us through the paper on the United Nations Sanctions Somalia Amendment No. 2 Regulation 2013. What are the basis for the amendment in respect of the relevant UN resolutions with regard to the UN Sanctions Somalia Amendment No. 2 Regulation? It is based on UNSC Section 3.1. The CN has to implement the instructions of the MFA to implement the UN resolution sanctions. And we gazetted on 25th October 2013 the amendment regulation, and that came into operation on the same day. And upon members' request on the date of Gazetto, we informed the LegCo Secretariat and also Secretariat of the relevant panels, and we provided a background paper for members' reference. Let me talk about the background. Somalia is a East African country. It was formed in 1960. Since the president was overthrown, the government has come into it has become an anarchy. The UN introduced various measures, including arms embargo, financial sanction, and other sanctions. Despite the recent development, Somalia is still posing threats to international security. So in July 2013, the UNSC passed a resolution 21111. And in August 2013, we received MFA instruction requiring us to implement USCR 2111. This is to amend sections 8 and 9, and also at 10, 2, and also 32. This is to reflect the relevant provisions of the UNSCR 2111. As for the impact on our trade, it is not significant. In 2012, Somalia ranked 152nd among Hong Kong's trading partners, and the total trade volume is just $64.3 million. Imports from Somalia, mainly leather and related products, and they are not related to any ammunition. And if members, we are happy to explain to you further details. In July, at one meeting, we did 6 amendment regulations in respect of the UN sanctions. Somalia was also one of them, and we were awaiting the instruction Usually, when a sanction was imposed through local legislation, it was upon the instruction of the MFA, and so there was a time gap. And when the instruction given by the CPG was late, we even came across the experience of having the regulation soon becoming expire. Now, in fact, the instruction was given in October, right? No. In August, we received instruction from MFA, and we completed the legislative process in October, and gazetted was on the 25th of October. Any questions on the background? If not, Mr. Wu, do you have anything to add? Well, I have nothing more to add in terms of background, but I can take members through the amendments clause by clause. If Mr. Wu doesn't have anything to add, then we can go to study this clause by clause. If you may refer to the markup copy. Please refer to the markup copy. The UN Somali regulation is based on UNSC R2111 to impose sanction in respect of travel ban, financial restriction, arms embargo, and certain exemptions. As for interpretation, that is clause 1 or section 1. Reference is not made to Resolution 1744 and 1772. We cross it out, and we at the same time add the reference to Resolution 2111. Later, reference is made to that resolution. That's very technical. Any questions? If not, then we move to the next part, which has been amended. That is 8.2 and 8.3. 8.2 and 8.3 are to reflect 2111, 7, 10, and 11, the new exemptions and exceptions. Any questions from members? It reflects the amendments and also the exceptions. (8.2G). It is a new way of drafting. The United Nations Political Office for Somalia or its successor mission replaced by United Nations Assistant Mission in Somalia. Madam Chairman, that is to reflect 10A of the UN Resolution 2111. The original also followed the UN resolution, right? Yes, we follow the UNSC 2111 and make the relevant amendments. Any questions? Chairman, if I may go on. Next, 10.2D. What about 9 then? Oh yes, my apologies. The next amendment is Section 9 and Section 9.2. Section 9.2 reflects 10 and 11 of the UNSCR, and that is to provide assistance or training, or technical training or advice. There are additions and also exceptions added. 2B or training, does it reflect the resolution? As for 9.2B, the amendment reflects para 10A of UNSCR 2111. Section 9 concerning advice, assistance, or training. Any query? If not, then we move on to 10, Section 10 2D. Section 10 2D. Yes, excuse me. Well, I heard it was 12. No, my apologies. It's 10, 2, and then D. This is newly added. This is in respect of Section 22 of the USCR 2111. These are exceptions in respect of financial sanction. And we therefore add this accordingly. Any queries? Is the wording the same? Yes, it is in line with the UNSCR. All right. The next part, the next 32. Section 32 deals with the effective date. The provision, we make reference to Section 22 UNSCR, where there is an exception or exemption. It will expire on the 24th of October 2014. It is new Section 10.2. We make reference to 10.2D, financial sanction, a new exception or new exemption. If there is no further resolution, then that provision will lapse automatically. Right. Ms. Him. That's exactly what I want to ask. Why? It specifies that it will expire on the 24th of October 2014. Now this is about for exemptions given to observers and NGOs, so on and so forth. But when it expires, does it mean that there will not be any assistance or relief given? Maybe the DFJ representative can speak on that. Now there is an expiry date, and that is not uncommon in UNSCRs. But in the resolution, no reason is given. And before that deadline, if there is any extension or if there is any decision or resolution, then in the new resolution, this part on the expiry date will be dealt with. There is no need to worry about a gap. Now, in the past, did they explain why they set an expiry date? If we look at UNSCR 2111, it is para 22. It says until a certain date, the following sanctions will be imposed, or the following exception will be in place. No explanation is given. And in subsequent resolutions, reference is made to certain deadlines, and some supplements may be made. And if there is no supplement or no extension, then it will lapse automatically. With the introduction of the exception, then there may be humanitarian aid supplied, and that may be a kind of a trial. And if the country is not stable, then the UNSCR, the UN may have to withdraw the humanitarian aid, and exemption therefore will not continue.
So that's there might have been a tug of war amongst the member states of the Security Council, and when they come to this conclusion, you simply will not be able to find out the reason. We don't know why they have set this deadline, but then our experience is that the Security Council would be following up on Somalia because the situation is volatile, so they will have very frequent meetings, for example, monthly meetings, and they'll be looking at the progress, and then they'll decide what to do next, and then in the subsequent resolution, they'll review the situation. They'll say, as the chair just said, all right, with regard to certain resolutions, they will look at the implementation process, whether or not they will have to step up the efforts, or do they have to reduce the efforts, and so on. All right, any questions? If not, then I think we can end here. Thank you. Thank you for coming.